FoxxC here again with another episode of FoxxTales, where I talk about how and why we tell stories and the impact they have on us and the world around us. If this kind of stuff is up your alley, you should click the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can find my new videos more easily. This video is part of my series on tips for writers, and you can find more of them on this channel, along with video essays and interviews with other creatives. Today, we're talking about some of the ways to deal with writer's block. Face your fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death, etc., etc. I know it's old hat to say that people are their own worst critics, but it's hard to argue with an accurate observation. Almost everyone has an amalgamation of their failures, detractors, and external critics knocking about in their minds that whispers, "You can't do this. This is meaningless. Who cares about your artwork anyhow? You're going to fail and be ridiculed for it, so why even bother doing it?" I still get it after years of writing professionally. I even know who mine sounds like. This voice is mean and wrong, and I deal with it by doing the thing anyways, just to prove it wrong. The only way to subdue the fear is to get good at something, and the only way to do that is to do it over and over and over again, face the fear until eventually it takes a back seat to the process of doing. The truth is, if becoming a professional writer is your goal, you're going to have to deal with so much rejection of your work, even when it's professional quality. You can't let any of that stop you from creating. Nothing worse than getting feedback that's like, "This is fantastic, top level, professional quality. Just not what we're looking for right now." I gotta eat, y'all. My favorite perspective on artistic fear comes from Dr. Chuck Tingle of oddly specific queer smut fame, and it kind of boils down to this. The fact that each of us, out of all the possible permutations of existence, exists is a miracle of creation, and any art we sincerely create is meaningful because it can only come about because we exist in this time and space, so just do it, because using art to make meaning is what we're meant to do. So get out there and prove love is real, buckaroos. We make art because that's what the human condition is about, right? We do it because we're afraid of death, oblivion, being unknown, right? And like Chuck Tingle says that, the thing that keeps the lonesome train, as he calls it, like that fear of death, away for him is by creating. And I think ultimately that's where this fear comes from, this fear of not being a good enough creator. You will be good enough because you're here, you're creating. Capitalism fucks us all up for us and makes us feel less than we should be because it demands that our creations be of a certain quality so that we can sell them on a market. It doesn't care about the creation itself or the process or the meaning that you come to through it. Very frustrating. Fear. Plus, procrastination. Mood is not for writing.
I guess I'm not in the mood today.
Mood? Yeah. What's mood to do with it?
You fight when the necessity arises, no matter the mood. Now fight!
Okay. Gurney Halleck might not love it that I'm applying this quote to making art, but it is how you have to approach it as a professional. There are lots of things we procrastinate over, but no matter the distraction, procrastination is ultimately an avoidance strategy. The number one reason for employing that avoidance strategy, I've heard from new and emerging artists, no matter the medium, is I can only create if I'm in the mood. If you want to be a mood-based hobbyist, that's cool. Disregard this and just enjoy making art as thou wilt. I, too, would rather spend my time indulging my whims and coming up with whatever weird creations when I feel like it instead of monetizing my artistic skills. But here we are. If you want to be a productive artist or make a living off of art under capitalism, you have to do it when you have to do it, no matter the mood. This was one of the big shifts in mindset I had to make when I was in film school. It started at a really rough time in my life. I was renting out my bedroom and sleeping on the living room floor in order to make rent, among other things. And I still had to go to class and build my portfolio to the best of my ability, or I was just wasting my investment. Sometimes you have to force yourself to write when you'd rather just curl up and cry. Oof. The words must flow. You like the Dune theme? The movie's coming out. I'm looking forward to it. All right. So there's lots of ways to get into the flow of writing. There's timers, free writing, outlining, talking or process. I'm going to get into all of them. And I personally use my own mismatch of these depending on what I need at the time. Timers are super useful tools to help make your writing time productive, and a lot of people recommend them. There's a variety of ways to use a timer, like challenging yourself to timed writing sprints, or my favorite, setting a timer on a productivity app to block my phone for an hour or two to remind me to stay on task and off social media. Follow my social media, links below. Just kidding. Do it. It's an easy way to gamify your process, and that can be very effective at getting you into the flow of writing. The specific technique lots of people recommend is called the Pomodoro method. It's more for short sprints. I do things a little bit differently, but if you want to look that one up, that's what it's called. If you're the type of person who can't help but edit a bit as they go, you can review your writing and make tweaks in between frantic timed sessions, something I've learned to do because I'm definitely the type of person. All right. Free writing is another popular method many writers I've spoken to recommend, and I've found it to be effective at times. The idea is to write stream of consciousness until your creative brain kicks into gear, no matter what garbage comes out. So, like, damn, I wish I wasn't writing today. This really sucks. It's raining outside. I want to go back to bed. Milligan decided that today was the day that he was going to get out of bed and fight for his future, etc., etc. Now you started a story. This doesn't always work for me in a solo setting, but it has, and it's very effective when combined with a timed writing sprint, and it's also really effective for me in like a group setting where we're going to sit here and write for 10 minutes. I don't want to be the person sitting there not writing for 10 minutes. I've also found that having a solid outline before I start writing is very effective at keeping me focused on the page. I don't always make them super detailed. My screenplays are a little bit more detailed, but I have some major beats plotted out, and I also I like to know where I start, and I like to know where I'm ending, and I kind of like to know where my midpoint is. It's easier to stay focused on what to do next. As well, if I have that roadmap, I can just be like, oh, what do I need to write next? I can look and then be like, right, yeah, okay, this scene, these scenes go into that section for that beat. I kind of had to be dragged kicking and screaming to outlines in film school. I used to be that artist who would just be like, I don't need to prepare. I'm going to sit down in one draft. Yeah, no, don't do that. Bad FoxxC. But yeah, now their outlines are a crucial part of my process. I can highly recommend them. Okay, and finally, at the black belt level, there is what I call talking your process, which is when you explain out loud what you're thinking while you put the words down, preferably to an audience of some kind. Some of my most productive writing sessions have come while doing this on a live stream because you're constantly saying out loud, okay, what's next? This. It can be tricky, but it can also be super fun. There's a link to one of the ones that I was working on YouTube. You can go check that out a little bit if you're interested in what talking your process looks and sounds like. It's crazy. But I'd like to get back to it. Maybe I'll do that again someday. Cool. Okay. Those are all the techniques I have for you today. If you've tried some of these, let me know how effective you found them in the comments, or share some tips of your own if it's something I did not cover. I hope this video has inspired you to bust through your writer's block. That's what it's here for. So thank you for watching FoxxTales. If you liked this video and want to see more from me, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to check out some of my published writing, you can find my most recent short story, Blood Magic, in the horror anthology I edit, Slasherfic Gothic from Anomalous Transmissions. There's a graphic up around my head somewhere. Links are in the description. I publish a free monthly newsletter as well. It includes project updates, writing tips, and my thoughts on the media I've been consuming that month, and you can find a sign-up link for that newsletter in the description. Maybe you want to double-check your spam folder to make sure that your confirmation comes through, you select it, so it'll come to your inbox. If you'd like to support my work directly, you might want to consider leaving a tip for me at www.coffee.com/FoxxTales. I can buy myself a coffee or a meal, or becoming a patron at www.patreon.com/FoxxTales. Monthly donations help me stabilize my income. And these lovely folks have been really helping me out. Huge appreciation for them. Patrons get access to early drafts of upcoming stories and unpublished screenplays, along with the joys of supporting an independent creative and some other available perks, like assistance with your writing, if that's something you'd like from me. Thanks again, and have a great day.